It is said that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond to it. In life, we deal with many layers of challenges that affect the principles of wellness. For generations, our community has learned as a standard to simply push through depression, suicide, substance abuse, trauma, grief, pain, and we continue to just show up no matter how broken we feel. We put on a mask and we perform. In contrast, a healthier practice for wellness is knowing when to step back and take a timeout. Welcome to Timeout. We are back. My name is Eunice Smith Clark, along with my co host,
Jermaine Jones.
and
Monica Blaine.
we are sitting down once again with, we have Mr. Kenneth
Emilio Sparks Johnson.
Emilio Smart,
Yes. Hello, hello. What's up, people? How y'all doing?
Philadelphia, born and raised.
Shout out to the panel. Thanks for having me, guys.
Rain days, and here come the sunshine. Ain't think about one time, just think about my grind. Just think about my grind. Just think about my grind. Now after the rain days, then here come the sunshine. Ain't think about one time, just think about my grind. Just think about my grind. Just think about my grind. Just think about my grind.
Our last show, we had your partner, Philly Freeway.
Oh, Philadelphia
And
Freeway.
yeah, so it was just apropos for us to invite you on, just to kind of, have an additional conversation from that. And so, Freeway, in that conversation, he said that State Property is currently working on a reunion to bring and reunite all 7 members. So
Wow.
you are one of those 7. So, so we needed to sit down. How do you feel
Right.
about that?
If they pull it off, I'm excited. That'll be a good thing. All 7 of us.
Yes,
All
all
let's
7.
get it. Yeah, that's the first time I'm hearing that. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
I just saw him too. I'm like, I don't know. He's kept that to himself right there. Yeah, he kept that to himself.
But
That's
but
what's
that
up.
excites you because
Yeah, definitely.
it's been over 20 years.
Well,
right?
yeah, a little over 20 years since we was together like that. And then, we did some touring and stuff together, but, it's been years. It's been a time frame. It's been a time lapse. So it's always a good thing if we can get that everybody on stage together and unify like that and give the culture what it need and hip hop. That'll be a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Our show is about wellness, okay? And, the 7 dimensions of wellness. And if anyone looks that up, the reality is a lot of us come from so much trauma, so much chaos, baggage, right?
Mhm.
And so it sounds like you guys, the 7 of you, have had your share, and throughout that brotherhood, you've had your share of knockdown, drag outs, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's a business, so we're gonna go through it. And not only that, us as people, individuals, we got entities, we got kids and bills. Everybody got the same thing going on and trying to feed their families and pay their bills. So I understand some of that stuff, but it been a hell of a roller coaster ride. Excuse my French.
That's okay. So tell us, where did life start for you? You grew up in West Philadelphia.
Yep.
Tell us, where did it start? How did your life lead into music?
Wow. Wow. I was born on 42nd, and I'm from West Philly, 42nd and Viola. That's in West Philly. Some people call it the bottom because my great grandma, she raised us. She used to be on 38th and Wallace. So we started from the bottom, and
That's what I know it as. the
yeah, that
bottom.
we from the bottom. So it was just rough, My mom was young having us. She had twins, and her parents, they died. My grandpa, he went first. So after he passed, my grandma, she's so used to him being around, she had not too long after that, she passed. So naturally, we had like 10 and 11 and 12 trying to take care of the
Family
household.
falls apart.
Yeah, so we ain't got time to be kids no more. So now we trying to take care of the family. So that start going on. So we messing around. We getting in trouble because, we ain't, pretty much ain't no father figure there. So now we turn to the neighborhood people, and they turn us on to different things, and we getting in trouble and stuff like that. We don't know no better, Mom is she's getting upset with me, feeling like I'm out of control. And by the time I was 13, 14, of course, group homes and stuff like that, they sending me away in Pittsburgh. And I don't want to be there. They telling me other stuff. I got kids and all these responsibilities. I'm like, really? I'm in here. So I want to get out there. So, I'm getting out there. I'm just running around meeting people, and I'm just trying to find my way. You know what I'm saying? And then we meeting people. Everybody ain't great advisors either. You know what I'm saying? We getting advice from. We got some all right people giving us some advice, and we got the. So it's two sides of everything.
Right.
So we got somebody in this area. You got somebody in this area, and I think I was about 15, 16 when I was like, you know what, let me try this music thing. Let me just go ahead and take a dab at it. So when I met ICH guys, and I went in the studio with Derek and the guys, Jim and all them, and ICH Oskino, and I just went in there with one rap. And they couldn't get me out of there. I think by the time 16, 17, I was making my mark out here. We was running into people like Major Figures. Those guys was out here busting their moves, and we was just having it. And I think eventually, I think we made enough noise that somebody wanted to sit down with us. So we ended up meeting with Jay-Z up in New York, and they wanted me and Oskino and signed us on the spot. I mean, Lior, he called upstairs to Lior, and he said he wanted us, and that was that. I think we signed in '99, about 17, 18, and there we have it. We was in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he mentioned something that I know you could relate to. The no father.
Right.
The father figures that weren't good. The group homes and other things that he said. How.
Well, it's never a blueprint to parenting. For one, especially if you don't have that, like for me, it took me a long time to understand the way my mother was brought up.
Right.
A lot of times I did the blame, for the parents and uncles and stuff like that until I started going to counseling.
Right.
And when I went to counseling, I had to understand like what was my mother and my aunts, how was their upbringing.
Right.
So, once you understand that, but being 18 years old, for you to be, I was 19 years old when I got drafted, man, and I tell people all the time, like, being drafted at 19 years old was like the best day of my life and the worst day of my life at the same time. If people don't understand that, being so young, coming into so much success so early,
It's a gift
and then
and a
you
curse.
have this family,
Right.
you know what I mean, that, depending on that. You know what I mean? So for you signing at 18 years old, man, like how much pressure was on you going through that process as far as, because I know me when it wasn't a day that I didn't get like at least 40 messages on my phone from somebody needing something.
Right.
So how was that process for you?
Well, first you're trying to process it, First you're trying to process it. So I'm sitting with people, and it, like you said, it happens so fast. It come to girls, it come to friends, and now it's the jealousy, the hate. So you dealing with them demons and stuff like that, and so it's a fight. It starts to a fight, and you just trying to rumble your way through. But I like I said, my grandparents was gone. I think by that time I had left the house and was on my own. I was staying with one of my girlfriends at the time, and we made something happen. So I just wanted to take her out of her household and put her up somewhere. And then as far as the finances, I think we just should have had somebody there to help us with decision making because like you said, we 19 and 18. You ain't thinking. Ain't nobody gave us financial literature. Like I had to evolve to this place. I wasn't ready for all that kind of stuff. But we had to be ready. Like you said, we thrown out here early, and then to the wolves, pretty much. Like literally. And so once we thrown out there to the wolves, we got to figure it out, and find our way. And I think outside of all that stuff, that's what all this whole journey was about. In search of really who I am, who's all right, in search of all the stuff that we need and need to process, like you said, again, to find our way. Because like as you say, we was kids. We was kids trying to be men, and then by the time you make a kid mistakes, as thinking you're a man, and then like you said, and trying to search the right people out. Yeah, so that I went through it. I was thrown to the wolves early, and then, like you said, we trying to mask the other stuff that's going on behind the scenes because we got friends that we think all right, but they not your friends.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? When there's money involved, everybody changed. Ain't nobody the same no more. Nobody. I was just fortunate.
Except you.
Yeah. I stayed different because my situation was different. I ain't going in right like everybody else. That's why today it's a struggle with me. I still got to do it from the muscle because everybody else bust their moves, and I'm sitting back when I needed a helping hand. It was leave them out there. I'm like, oh really? That's how they view me.
Right.
But so that's when I'm putting my flesh on the line like for everybody, and I realized, damn, so I'm self-medicating. I'm going through stuff now. I didn't realize that I got kids, but I'm still going through with the baby mamas. Yo, when we going? get past this court thing and I could be around my kids because this is what I'm fighting. I couldn't be in a household like this. I wanted to be raised like that. So at the end of the day, when that couldn't happen, I was just really disappointed with a lot of folks. You know what I'm saying? There was a story that, I was trying to reach out. I did the music. That was a little therapeutic for me without, dealing with the mental health side of like therapy and all that kind of stuff. But them the kind of demons I was dealing with. Like, I want family. To this day, that's what it's important. I found out the real value and moral thing. Like, you put a dollar amount on that kind of stuff, you lose yourself.
Yeah, you will.
Right.
And family.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned you self-medicated.
Oh, did I?
What things did you turn to?
I was on PCP and alcohol. I was on plenty of drugs. I was doing dippers. And like crazy, and then alcohol because it was like and then you found some sense of hopelessness because like you said, we wasn't running around with security guards, so you know what I'm saying, we was catching cases and that was a lot of legal trouble and all that kind of stuff, and wondering, hey, will we make it through this kind of stuff? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that kind of stuff just put me in a state of mind like I was ready for whatever, and that's why I self-medicated. I'm just glad to get out of there. So I've been away from that stuff for years now. So I've been cool and clean and sober for years. And it took a while though. I had to realize it wasn't just me. I had that selfish thing going on, wasn't even digging it still. I was dealing with that other self-hate probably in the beginning trying to hustle. But when I got to the other part, like, I ain't still mad at the baby mom. I want the kids around, but it's so I'm like, damn, I'm not the only one out here. Somebody was paying attention. And I had to see that. Because there's levels to it. I had to get to somewhere else to understand, hey, man, I'm tripping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it takes something to open your eyes to something else. Yeah. So when I got there, I was just like, you know what, it's cool. But it sobered me up. I just got tired of hearing it. It was like, whatever, now what?
Right.
Now what you got to say? I ain't on it.
Yeah.
I ain't reckless.
So that's big too, man.
Right.
You said certain things had to happen.
Right.
For me, when I went to counseling, it was more of me going to counseling for me being away from a game that I played for 16 years. Ooh. It was almost like trying to find something, that transition was so hard. So I started going to counseling and stuff like that. But after that first initial process, man, I went and served 18 months in jail for child support, man.
Oh.
And for the first time in my life, I looked at it, I always try to find positive in things. And I read up on you that you spent a little time in jail.
Yeah.
But for me, it was my first time.
Right.
In those 18 months. And all I wanted to do is be better when I got out.
Right.
Because my life was so fast from being 19 years old. I never got that opportunity to really sit down and I thought it was God's way of just sitting me down to be able to think, you know what I mean? So I really was sitting down just reading like self-help books. So when I did get that opportunity again, that I'll be ready and try to find out who I am. And one of the things I learned from just listening to Will Smith, one of the things he always said was, you can look yourself in the mirror, but it's the person you don't see that kind of keeps you in that space. So I had to find out who I was just going to counseling. So you mentioned like you had to kind of find out who you were. Like, what was your process with that?
Well, with that being said, I think that's pretty much what it was. I didn't love me, so I couldn't have loved nobody else. So I had to go through all that. Like, I was just at one of them points in my life I was in trouble. I remember I didn't even want girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, don't love me. Don't send me no money orders. I can't deal with you right now because I don't love me. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that stuff, we get into a situation where, hey, man, let me just take the time to try to find out who I am.
Right.
Like, that's why when I got a little older, I needed love. That's what I realized what I was missing because I ain't even want that at the time because, I was, you hear things, man, you can't be loving nobody. I'm doing this. And like, man, lights went out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time. Bone Creature chilling, but it's like, dang, girl, I got some other stuff to do. So, but that kind of stuff, like, it do give you a time to think, reflect. You be around some different people, and then you see where they at. Because I seen people go in front of them judges and come back, ain't the same look on their face. Right. So you be like, dang, if I can get an opportunity, like you said, to get out of this joint, let me go ahead and try to, reevaluate my situation to go ahead. And that's why when you said what you said about doing what you do, I couldn't leave rap alone no matter how bad it was. Or even I had a little film stuff going on too with the movies, but I felt like it saved my life.
Right.
That's one thing I don't know. I don't know where I'd have been today if it didn't happen.
Right.
So it was like, you know what I'm saying? So
not be here,
yeah,
right?
so why I couldn't let it, so when people was taking something away, I needed to be doing something
Right.
within that field because it kept me driven. It was driven. That's what I wanted to do, make money.
You feel like
Because
your
that mind, I
purpose.
think I made my mind up back then.
Right.
So and it was self-explanatory about how I was moving. So that's how I'm at. Like I'm on like 53 albums and all that kind of stuff. It did move me to CD because I just kept going. That's good because that was my outlet. You know.
Yeah, and that's funny too because, you know, when basketball ended for me, I feel like I didn't have a purpose in life.
Right.
And I always feel if you don't have that purpose, man, you're going to fill it with something.
Right.
And most of the time, that's not going to be good.
Oh, because when you lose something, you trying to fill it. That's what it. You trying to fill that void.
Right.
Listen. He's trying to. Trust me. A lot of women. You trying to look drugs, women, all that kind of stuff, and then you partying all the time because you don't want to deal with the reality.
I want to have a conversation with both of you about that. Monica, you have anything?
Yeah, I do have a question. So, do you think now, like I know that you went through your whole career with, with rapping and stuff, and you did mention you have kids and stuff now.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
so do you think that's more of your driving factor now? What you would say? Because
I'm glad you asked that question. That's a great question. We are at a point where we can talk because they're adults now, and then when you splitting the mom and dad and they got to choose and pick and choose, it was like, you know what, fine. I mean, here you mentioned the child support thing. I stayed in there so long. Especially, that's a good thing. When I got to the point where I could just drop 9,000 in, I talk with you guys tomorrow since this all is about.
Right.
But when I leave,
Since
we
it's
need
all
to
it's
have
about.
a conversation. Because
Right.
where's my kids? You know what I'm saying? So today, when we get a little older, you see what I'm saying? When we got a little older, I'm just so glad that we can talk and be kicking it. It ain't about that. I ain't even mad at
About
them.
that money.
You want to come and keep bringing in?
Right.
I'm past that. I ain't even got that energy
Right.
going on.
Right.
But to be
beautiful.
kicking it with them now and be like, yo, this is what I missed. This is what I need. And like I said, when you grow, you gotta process it and deal with that.
Right.
You gotta deal with whatever happened. You know, when you're looking like you said in the mirror, you like, damn, all right, that happened. But that's where we at. You know, my daughter, she was dealing with some of her issues, and she was dealing stuff about how her mom probably talked to her and what daddy felt. I wasn't alienating no matter what they do or what they on. It's like, I'm still your father, and this your sister, this your brother. We ain't on that. We not play the separation game.
Right.
Oh, strength in the number, and we family. So if you do got a problem, you supposed to come to them. You keep trying. I learned that early. If you keep throwing out this way, that's the kind of results you're gonna get. So you need to come at least trying to holler at me. I know you're growing and you're 20 something now, your friends and this influence, you're on your social media and you're having fun like that. But you got a dad you come and talk to too.
Right.
Ain't just mom all the time.
experiences that you
Right.
had as well, yeah.
Right.
So let's get back down to the nitty gritty and the root of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We had this conversation on the phone, and you mentioned your grandparents, grandpa
Yeah,
died, and then
they
it's
was-
like everything fell apart. And then your mom, your dad, right? It's a cycle.
Yeah,
And it's
a cycle.
every family. It's a
And-
generational thing, right?
Mhm.
And so you have, it's broken already,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
pretty
and
much.
then it just continues to carry over. And, so then, your brokenness, your trauma obviously impacted your kids because you had to still find yourself, right?
Yeah.
So now the hope is that your children will be able to kind of bring themselves to some wholeness to
Right.
break that cycle. But let's just kind of go back because we all got a story,
Yes,
right?
Right.
So let's go back to like the beginning of where you recognized, whether it was grandpa,
Right.
that led to mom and dad,
Right.
that led to,
Go ahead.
I don't know how far you want to go.
All right. This,
you know?
this, you know what's crazy? You asked that. You ever see somebody come home with their wife? You know what I'm saying? They bring her home the groceries. They going. Even if they defending the house, they take care how they like the man. You projecting in your mind about what type of man you want the mirror and be.
Right. Watching
And
that example.
Watching the example
Yes,
of it. So
yes.
and then your grandma and these guys. I'm talking about they stay together to the end of their time.
Beautiful.
So I had the kids young, but I guess they was adults at that time, So, but that's what I try to carry on. So with
That
my,
was your vision
that
of
was my
what
vision the
you
whole
wanted.
time, no matter what was going on, like that, So I'm chasing the money and all that kind of stuff in this world, but I still got a different mindset on what I'm looking for. And when the relationships wasn't working out, I used to try to think. I used to ask myself, is it because I ain't with the baby moms or not? But I still had to realize we was too young to try. We was learning, and I was meeting the different people. But when I couldn't get the tradition and stuff like that, and it didn't happen, now maybe it was just timing. You know what I'm saying? I wanted the time to be right because I was like I said, young, trying to figure it out. But them the kind of people that I remember, and it stays with you. You know what I'm saying? Not just my crime syndicates. Everybody look at us like, damn, you put all this work in and all that. I say, man, because I was looking for this.
Right.
What hurt people do? They run around, they hurt people.
Yeah.
But I still had standards.
people
I
hurt
still had standards. And bad people are bad people. And you
Right.
can't really come judging me for what I did to a bad person. You guys at a certain time, place in their life, and they know it. And I got a household to defend because my folks was over here taking care of stuff. So I was trying to lead by example too. So when people, people misunderstand me sometimes, but in my mind, I had to get right with myself.
Are you the oldest of your siblings?
No, my sister's 2-3 minutes older, and I'm older than the rest of
Oh,
them.
so you're the twin.
Yeah.
I heard you say your mom had twins.
Yeah, me and my sister.
Right, but I wanted, okay, so you're the twin.
Yep. So she's a little older than me.
But
so
it's just the two of you?
Yeah. No. I got a little sister Shanita and my little brother Chop that we raised. He
Right,
passed
so
away.
but the twins are the oldest.
Yep.
So but you were that oldest boy.
Yeah, I had to go out
So
here.
you were right.
So that's what it was. It wasn't
That's
no
the
disrespect.
pressure.
It was I got a household.
Absolutely.
So when I'm talking to people, it's like that's all it's about, That's really is about until you get to another space and it teaches you how to grow and evolve into what you need to grow into. But it's just some stuff is just.
So how have you worked through? How have you worked? Because we're talking about how to be better. We're talking about the wellness part of our lives, right? How did you learn to work through the healing piece of the absence of mom and dad that led to the group homes?
Well, is
it something that you're still working on every day?
You know what it was? It was rebel. My mind. Like I said, I rebelled. Like you said, I didn't want to deal with that. That. All right. Plus, I felt poor. The lights went out. People, ain't no hot water. So it was like, man, what we gonna do? But I went and got a car wash job. I went to the agency down here. And so I started doing stuff, odd jobs for the car wash and stuff like that. So I was trying to make something happen. But somebody else in the other area, come this way, and then come, and you think it's cool, so that's where the rap come from. That's where the aggression come from. Yeah, and I told them, and that come from that. So it's like, but I was trying to be mindful about stuff, and that's why I like me, because I didn't understand what was going on, but I still gave myself a little balance because some things I understood, but some things I just felt like it was just bad. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, but that's where the music came from. It come from the experience of life, and we can evolve from it through the experiences and stuff like that. And I guess that's what it helped me. I ain't gonna lie, it just it helped me.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was just going through my transition, man. Like I went through a lot of financial woes,
Right.
Through my time, and for a long time, man, like being 19 years old, my first contract was $650,000.
Right.
Man, I thought I was rich.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got 16 aunties and uncles, about 1 million first cousins, moved forward and with me when I got drafted here by Philly.
Right.
And, going through that whole process, man, when I was running into financial issues, man, and then, retiring and have to process that and going through, so much at that time, I was blaming so many people that I had looked out for.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I was this young kid, and everybody had their hands out.
Right.
So I read something up on you when you said you was going through some financial issues and you had a young lady by you and you were saying something, but it was hard to trust anybody after going through that process. So can you kind of speak on the times when you was going through that?
But when you dealing with because like you said, once we in the public eye, we at a standard. No, you can't go wrong. You're stupid if something go wrong, and all that kind of stuff. So like you said, we trying to find somebody that we can be around and let me just heal first, because people came after me for money and contracts and stuff, but it wasn't the headache. It wasn't money. Wasn't worth the headache I was gonna have. I was trying to still get through a healing process. So, but when you around people when you need that and they trying to kick you when you're down, that kind of stuff. And then with me, far as like you said, I gotta grind. If I can't find the friends that is really in my corner, because I got people that's in my corner, but sometimes the people that we around ain't always what they cracked up to be. You need you can't have somebody pulling you down, and then you can see the difference between them and the people that care, because you like that vibe ain't the same.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, when the vibe ain't right, you no matter how much you care, no matter hurt, you gotta roll out. And it's like in certain times, certain issues, people, if you find out some stuff about me, I didn't even want to face people. You know how you wake up on somebody's couch like, I ain't used to this.
Yeah.
I done came from this level. I ain't used to living like this. But
Right.
we taught that we can't go to the courts or nothing. But technically, hold up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But I just hide in sheds and stuff like that. I don't want to deal with it right now.
Right.
But you know, you be trying to find the people that you feel like in your corner when, because that's how my mindset was. When all fail, who gonna be there?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If it all go today or tomorrow,
Yeah.
that's what I knew. At any given moment, this can go away, and then what? Who gonna let's see who gonna be there.
Right.
And that's what you what I be looking at.
So you mentioned, your mind, you thought back on all the people you helped, right? And where are they now, right?
Right.
Did either of you ever have a sense of like revengeful feeling? Like you want to get those people back that you feel took from you or that you helped and not there to help you now?
I don't know. I don't know if it's revenge. It just be like, you ever see somebody? Somebody told me something a while back. You can't expect people to be on the same page as you all the time.
Can't.
Right.
So when you do that and you evaluate it, it's trying to really evolve. You're trying to change, and you know what you can do, and you know what you're capable of. But sometimes if you look at certain them kind of people, they fall all the way off.
Yes, they do.
You leave them where they at, they
Hard.
fall. You be like, damn, you was just cool, but you laughed at me when it happened. But people don't get it until they got it. So that's why when I'm going through it, I ain't trying to end up being the guy you want me to be.
Right.
I'm trying to get to where I'm going, so that way when I'm looking back, like
Stay with us right here for part 2 of Time Out.
Now I done had my issues throughout my lifetime. I did a lot of mean things, not even in my right mind. Shit, sometimes even at the wrong time. But gangster, it been around my generation for years, so it's flowing through the bloodline. For me to send about 6 through one of your bricks is clothesline. Up close and personal with the Glock 9. Open up your sunroof and let the sun shine in on you. Let that thing ring on you. I eat, sleep, live, dream this shit, believe this shit, trust me. I clap one of your fucks like one of life's trusted. Until the feds indict me, until your punks try to trump me. But fuck it, I keep my peace with me, so come and get me. I'm bringing a few of your motherfuckers with me. I'm your Huckleberry, I make the block hotter than it's ever been holler.
I seen plenty fights break out, friendships break up, niggas fall under pressure. They told on the best of us, dug a hole for the rest of us. Stay rap/rock, no you can't mess with us. I seen more blood snitch over no shit. I seen more blood dripping a little bit. You gon' want me back, so's a nigga blow. Send it for the dough, man, that's all a nigga know.
Ain't nothing about me average. Awkward style like Lenny Kravitz. I peep the whole floor like I'm magic. No look bullets through your cabbage. Over the beef, I pull toast, nigga, let's make a sandwich. I stay on my burner. Speaking the truth like Sojourner. My 357 a Turner. Situation ugly. Throwback jersey in a Scully on the corner and the rain about my money. Sing my song till I'm gone. And when I'm gone, make a remix. We keep it rockin' till they seasick. The ghetto I reside, down the street from death. We taking nothing for granted, not even our breath. Men of respect, walk with your vest, hand on your tech. Looking over the shoulder, got cramp in your neck. Bare arms to the day that I'm gone. Mean face on my obituary, gangster to the day that I'm gone.
It is said that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond to it. In life, we deal with many layers of challenges that affect the principles of wellness. For generations, our community has learned as a standard to simply push through depression, suicide, substance abuse, trauma, grief, pain, and we continue to just show up no matter how broken we feel. We put on a mask and we perform. In contrast, a healthier practice for wellness is knowing when to step back and take a timeout. Welcome to Timeout. We are back. My name is Eunice Smith Clark, along with my co-host
Jermaine Jones.
and
Monica Blaine.
we are sitting down once again with we have Mr. Kenneth
Emilio Sparks Johnson.
Emilio Sparks.
Yes. Hello. What's up, people? How y'all doing?
Philadelphia, born and raised.
Shout out to the panel. Thanks for
It
having
was never revengeful because even today I'm always on getting better and trying to, better myself every single day. I want to be better.
Right.
But when I see the people that I gave so much to, man, they such in a bad place. But I look at me like, man, I did that to them.
Right.
I see that as that because I'm like I enabled them.
Right. All right.
I was giving, man, and it's just like they didn't have to do nothing for it. So it's like they was that way for so long. It was just
I
like
had to be careful with that. You ever start something, now it's a situation where that's why I'll be like, oh, no. Certain things like, no, stop it. This got to stop right now because I ain't trying to keep that up, and then you got to get up and pull your own weight. That's even if nobody wasn't there, that was life to it. You had to pull your own weight.
That's right.
No, it's even now, like, I progress and I'm doing a lot of things now. I'm helping a lot of professional athletes transition out of sport.
Right.
I'm speaking on financial literacy with the NBA team, rookie through fourth year
Okay.
guys. So everybody looking at me now like, oh, he's back.
Right.
And then these people come back around and I'm sitting there like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've ruined you already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Say yourself.
You know what I mean? Like no.
Yeah.
We gotta do different. We gotta do better. I'm doing better. I want to better myself, but the process it took me to get to where I am now. I can't even have that kind of energy around me no more.
Right. No, you definitely got to remove yourself from all negative energy or anything that's just distracting you from you because it can make you relapse to what you was doing.
Absolutely. And it makes you appreciate the people who have been there to help you even more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was a thing because I don't want to go back to doing the things that I was doing.
Right.
I don't want to start that again. So, you got to be able to help yourself and want to grow.
Yeah.
I wanted to grow. And the thing about me, I'm not sure what it was for you, man, but it was a space where I was in where I was so accustomed to being able to take care of my family and my kids.
Right.
And it got to a point where it was like I was embarrassed to even be around my kids because whenever they see Dad, I was able to give them whatever it was. Right. So it was like then, like, man, like I can't even give my kids nothing. So it was more like, man, I can't do this. I have to better myself.
Right.
Like, what was it for you that was like, okay, that's it, man. I gotta grow.
Well, like you said, financial literacy, and then I had a friend, I had a homie that was, one of my older guys. It's like this guy, he was like I did my music joint with him, and he was like used to be there. A lot of people, I had a lot of alright people around, but when I got older and started going through it, when somebody you don't find so many people like that. When you see somebody come to your aid, and when all fell and I remember them kind of people, and they give you some game and they put you on the right stuff. So that's what you need, because like you said, if you ain't got that financial literacy and you just enabling who you're around to become that, when it all said and done, you feel bad, but you just learning.
Right, that's it.
You just learning, so ain't no beating yourself up. I had to learn that too. But like you said, when you got some good company and good friends, and when that crowd, it's a crowd of people out there, and you fighting that crowd, and that crowd could be something else. They could be notorious. So you got to just surround yourself with some positive people, no matter what's going on, and somebody that want to see you win instead of people like I said, like them crabs, crab in the barrel type people. God, you can see them, you like, man. And I didn't realize some people can have so much, and you still be trying to figure out what's wrong with you.
Right.
Your souls ain't right. You understand where I'm coming from? When somebody's soul ain't right, man, you can have all the money in the world, but when the soul ain't right, you be like, oh, this ain't right.
You got feel it.
Yeah, make souls be at jeopardy. You be like, what's wrong with this, man? I got the road.
Right. So one of the things I wanted to just kind of dive into, because I know after my transition and going through that, man, all I wanted to do was be better. So, you know, I meditate in the morning now. I go to the sauna. I just had my counseling once a week now still because I don't want to backlapse. You know what I mean? I'm all in self-improvement. Like I go on mental health retreats. Like, man, every day I'm trying to better myself, man. And I know that you're trying to get into that space. Like, what are some of the things that you've been looking into, try to do better, or even if you've thought of things to
Well, not too long ago, I checked in. I had to check in and find therapy and all that kind of stuff.
Beautiful.
I needed it. You ever be somewhere? I just tired. I was tired of all the humping and all that at the time. The girls were
You
running.
said all the humping.
Like, hold up. The money on hold right now. All the babies. I don't want no babies. All this gotta wait. Let me go get myself together. I don't want that right now. So when I got to that space, I was just over it. I was over it. Wasn't nothing nobody could come to me with at the time. I was
That's
just
that self-medicating.
yeah, I was like, I'm tired of all y'all right now. So it was like once I got to that space and checked in and tried to figure my way, I was just with the people that was coming around trying to push stuff for me. I was starting to gravitate to different stuff. I just wanted something different going on. And today it's like I'm really trying to see if I can try to help people. If I can come out, donate to foundations and help people out, and just talk to doctors and different type of people. Like you say, you doing mental health, we can just kick it and be around just different stuff. Because we taking the problem, we dealing with the problem head on now. Ain't nobody running from it. We facing it. Let's go face the problem. We dealing with that problem head on. So let's just go and face the problem and then deal with the issue at hand, the underlying cause of it, and keep it pushing.
Take the mask off.
Take the mask off. I don't want to wear the mask. I done hid already. I'm out. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So that's how you get there. So once you get through that kind of stuff, because like you say, we ain't around. We taught different. Yeah. We ain't taught to go see them kind of people and be around them kind of people. You think, hey man, everything's this way.
Right.
No, it ain't. You go somewhere else, you scratch your head like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang around somebody different, than the person who I gave everything to you. I gave everything to you.
And here's the truth: we come from parents who were baby boomers, whether the beginning of the baby booming era or what have you, and most of the baby boomers eventually got caught up in the 80s. I shouldn't say most, but some of them, got caught up in the 80s. We know what that was, right? And it had an impact on all of us.
Yes, it did.
And so it's been a lot for each of us to try to work through that. My father was an alcoholic. He passed. He drowned his sorrow in alcoholism and passed from cirrhosis of the liver. It had a huge impact on my our household. And me personally, so it affects the children. And now we got to work. We got to peel back the layers, and we got to take the mask off, and we got to be honest with ourselves. And I went through counseling the adult children of alcoholics. It's a real thing.
Right.
Okay.
Like, they'll even be sitting there. I'm speezy and I'm an alcoholic. Be like, oh my God. Oh God.
It was like seriously. It was like a whole list of personality defects and traits that you develop. Being. It could be
whatever your addiction is. It could be anything could be an addiction.
Anything could be an addiction.
Overindulgent.
There you go.
That's why when I'm addicted to good company, I don't mind overindulging and that kind of stuff. Some good folks and buses kind of moves today. Because when we reach a certain level in life, you like, come on, I'm off all that, and hopefully somebody can pick, them people will come around eventually like, all right, it's time, give it up. You ain't gonna hold on. Let it go. You gotta let that go.
Let it go.
So you can come on in. You know saying? So you can go ahead and let that load, whatever you got going on out of you and get to that place. You can't get there like that. It's a plague. Yeah.
You have this saying, we outside.
Yeah.
Right? What does that mean?
Well, that's we out in the community and we trying to bust our moves so we can help. Y'all see us out here, holler at us. We talking with you. We trying to help, like I said, help all the new artists, up and coming artists, and try to help them grow and develop. And hopefully they get to it, and then we can try to form groups and situations where people can get financial literature. Somebody can get mental health. Somebody can get all that kind of stuff through these kind of foundations that people trying to build and develop. And that'll be a good look because we got to take control of our communities.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things too, man, that was big for me going to counseling. Well, I realized that my childhood wasn't as good as I thought it was. You know what I mean? Because I thought it was something normal. I thought it was normal. So I didn't even know my childhood was screwed up till I started going to counseling. And the first thing, and this was after me, retiring and basketball was over. So I'm trying to, go in and deal with that. And all the counselor was asking me was like, how was your childhood? And I'm sitting there like I'm not gonna get anything out of this. But I'm the person, if I start something, I'm gonna finish it. So I kept going, man, and they kept asking me questions. I'm just speaking on my childhood, man. I'm realizing like, man, I got a whole lot of issues. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know I had abandonment issues. You know what I mean? I didn't know that murder I seen at 13 years old affected me. I didn't know like so much was inside of me that I had so much pain and hurt inside of me. Like, most people that watch me can tell like it was something. You know what I mean? Because that was my piece on the basketball court. You know what I mean? So when did you realize, like, you had some issues yourself?
I knew I had issues. I got the pro wings. I was wearing my pro wings. I was just they got the British Knights and stuff. I'm like, that's cool. I had my issues. My pants got a hole in it on picture day. I had a little attitude. Like you said, we next door to the murderers too. I'm like, how y'all? They our neighbors. Was they family members? Somebody like, that's family. That's my cousin. You know what I'm saying? So I was dealing with a lot of that stuff going on too. But I knew I had anger management, but you ain't want to come back to mom and argue with her about, once you give me a decent pair of shoes. Grandma was trying, but when she left, So all that kind of stuff was playing a part. So, and then it's funny because now like you say, we trying to go to school and we trying to get an education, but kids could be, brutally honest. Like, look at you're pro wings and you're like, you right. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, when I found out all that stuff, like I wanted to do stuff when I got done with certain things. Like, I went back to school, you know what I'm saying? I dropped out the 10th. I went back when I left the Rockefeller situation. I went and got my diploma. I was trying a little college stuff too. So I was trying to double back and get some things to make it, let me do something different while on my downtime, just to have it. They ain't clear me all the way, but
How much has that network, that community, of the industry and the people, been a support system or even a resource to turn to for you through the years?
How many people in the business?
Anybody at all? How much of it has been, was able to be a resource to kind of help you in that bounce back?
I think who helped me out? Who helped me out in the business? I talked with in Philadelphia,
or just in general.
Oh well, I talked to Dame. I reached out to Dame at one point. He hollered back. A couple people here, that had me on the panel here. A few people here, like Nakia Diller. I remember him. And yep.
Cousin, shout out to Nakia.
Yep, because he had a panel. The acting, what was his name?
I can act.
Yeah, so I used to go and kick it. I used to go kick it with them, and it got me almost back in my bag. But like you said, I had to grind. I had to take my own money and spend my own money to try to make it happen. Because sometimes I couldn't get the facility. Like, people don't always call me. I don't know why. It's like I had issues, but I dealt with them. I got counseling. So I was like, but people really don't deal with me on that level. So sometimes I just go do it myself because, like you said, that's my outlet. And you can view me how you want, but clearly I've been doing something else. It's like somebody trying to view you as the bad pop. But it's like it's too much substance out here, too much content to prove you wrong.
Here's the truth. Here's the truth, right? We can be very critical, of people, our counterparts, and and all. If they're, you say, you had issues or whatever, right? We can be very critical at how a person responds or reacts to things based on what's going on through their lenses,
where they are, right?
The reality is, as we sit and we're laughing about we're laughing about it, right?
Yeah,
we get through it,
right? But the truth is, so many of us as children, I speak for myself, but so many of us as children have struggled with PTSD and did not know what it was. The adults around us, and I actually write about some of this in my children's book. Our parents, aunts, uncles, they walking around, they busy trying to beat us for acting out or whatever. But there's a lot of things that that post-traumatic stress, that we're dealing with, and they couldn't even recognize it. Why? Because they have it themselves,
And they teaching us,
and
to
they
be-
ain't recognize theirs.
So we think it's normal. People putting the 357 in your face. This is how we dealing with
Right,
it. You rob me
right.
for my little $2 going to the
Right.
store. You got the 357 up on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to go to the dance hall. It's a shootout in the middle. They'll be jumping gates, and I'm telling them about it. I'm jumping her. I'm jumping, and I'm living like I'm in the army. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to the corn store trying to go to a dollar party. So this the kind of stuff that we raised in. You right, and we make it look like it ain't about nothing, but it's every day and it's all around us.
Absolutely. You know, there's a therapist in Philadelphia. Shout out to Tasnim Blackman Hill, and I remember her one day just giving a little insight on generational trauma. And she was saying that, you know, there's been some statistics and some research that shows that that generational trauma can pass through the womb. It can pass through genetics to a child, you know, from what their parents went through, right? Because there's a breakdown that occurs, you know, in the DNA, you know, in the chromosomes, and it's passed through. And now this is what's happening to us. You follow me? And we're not even recognizing it. And meanwhile, you know, somebody might be flying off the handle and they're responding. That's their response to what's been undealt with, right? But there's none of us can judge or say, you know, they crazy, because that's a word that I don't like, that C word, but that's a word that we have a very bad habit of using.
Crazy.
Yes, you know, and so, you know, I just think it's time for us to really just kind of have these conversations to kind of break down, you know, and peel back the layers of that, so we can all get comfortable as a community.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, with being better. You know, at that. Everybody's not crazy.
Right.
No.
That's not a
They
good
just all
word.
Dealing with something.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the reality of it.
Right.
That's the reality.
And people try to control how you deal with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm never judgmental of people and how they react to things, because I want to know. I want to get to the root of the problem. Like why were they doing that?
Well, they need some love. People need love.
And that's
We raised in a hateful world.
we are.
We raised in a hateful world and a lot of hate going on. So people, when you ain't got love, then what we into? We turn into animals.
Got to start
And
there.
barbarians, and people, and you're rewarded for some time for that stuff. So as you know, you go somewhere and that's what you is. But after a while, it's like I need me, like today. I go through that today. I'll be wanting some of my girlfriend around all the time. You know, I'm not gonna hurt you, you know, anything like that. No, contrary to what you heard. But when you coming from that, I'm trying to let it go. But it ain't my fault. I didn't want to go to the disco and get shot at. You know what I'm saying? That ain't me. Just I'm dealing with post traumatic stress.
That's exactly what it is coming
I was
out.
shot at.
That's
I was
it.
victim.
Right. Right. But so here's the thing, because you talking about needing love, right? So let's get to the truth of it, right? Our parents,
Right.
oftentimes we don't get what we need. We come from parents that come from generations of, they didn't get it, because, you know, our grandparents or maybe even great grandparents were just out of slavery. Right? So some of them were traded, you know, they didn't have the nurturing, you know, from their mother or father, because they might have been on a different plantation, right? So then by the time they had our grandparents, right, our grandparents didn't get that love and that warm affection and that love that, you know, to them back then, love to them was, I'm putting food on the table and I'm putting clothes on your back. Right?
Yeah.
That I'm showing you love. I'm taking care of you, right? But there's so much more. There's a human element to it that we need, right? And then so again, it passes down. So by the time it got to us, now we dealing with the parents that then got caught up in the epidemic, and
Put us on defense and all that kind of
and
stuff.
so we didn't get the hug.
Right.
We didn't hear the words "I love you," you know, any of that. And so now we're reaching out in so many ways to all the external, you know, forces, people in the streets or whatever, just trying to get a little, you know, attention, affection, right?
Because people gotta, like you said, they gotta be addressed. People are ashamed of some stuff because people looking for somebody to trust. You know, everybody got trust issues. Confidentiality go along. People say words, but you gotta mean it. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't something you want to open up with somebody and they use it against you. So people are dealing with that too. So nobody feeling comfortable with opening up to certain people because they use it against them.
Yeah.
So that's the problem when you got some. But that's what I'm saying. You got to be able to be able to talk with some like them therapists and stuff like that. I guess people more than to talk with them because they don't know them.
Right.
Versus the people they know. Cause you know how it is.
Right.
Yeah, and then you turn into you find some cold person because at the end of the day they feel like they can't share with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Monica, help me out on this. Let's talk about the mommy son and the daddy daughter relationship, right?
Yeah, it's
So
I think it's important too because you like you said, you're raising kids now, and then now they're young adults and everything like that, and they're mirroring what they saw with you.
Right.
And then they're asking you questions.
Yeah, but they doing. I know what I like about it is they doing the positive side. I like that. She doing writing. They going to work. I said, I was going to work and stuff. The other stuff, I was like, hey guys, I didn't know no better. I wasn't 18 yet.
Right.
So therefore, I'm not held accountable for all those acts.
Right. So, I know you had your stepdad that raised you, right?
Right, yeah. And we went through it.
So
we went through it.
Right. Yeah. So, and you know my story, my father died when I was 7, How did having a stepfather, did you get everything that you needed, the affection that you needed from your stepfather?
You end up like, okay, so it was like me, my sister, and my brother, and that was their father. And I always knew that was their father. But then what I had to realize, like when I got older, like when I got in my late 20s, that his mom died when he was 6. Then his dad turned around and died when he was 7 and left all of the money and stuff to the stepmom. And the only way she could get all this money from his dad was to take care of all these kids.
Right.
So she was upset. She had another dynamic come into the household since he passed away. So my stepfather never got anything. Like he was always fighting the stepfather with abusing his sister because it was 10 of them.
He was like the black sheep.
Right. So, he went to the military, like when I started doing my therapy and I really started digging into that is when I realized like, okay, I needed help with that too because I'm looking up to this person like, well, why are you treating me like this? And I know now because you never got treated the right way. So how can you treat me the right way?
Absolutely. And so you see, so then that as we get older, so then that comes out in our relationships with men. So now we're looking for, this affection and this love and this, right? And you see how this cycle goes. And then the same is for guys. When y'all don't have your mother there,
right?
It's the reverse. You have y'all have, I think,
it goes both ways.
Right.
Yeah,
you have the same struggles because now you're looking for women to nurture you. And so a lot of times with women, when we don't have that daddy, then we look to older men. Right? Right?
So I went through the process of having family members that only dated married men.
Oh, wow.
So me growing up was like I would never trust a female
Right.
in my life because I knew that. So any woman that I used to feel like I started liking, I would do something dumb.
Just to mess it up.
Just to mess it up because I'm like, I like her.
Yeah.
I don't want to like her.
You know what's wild? What's wild like that? Because you ever be in some environment, all of them, like some of them, the relationship don't work. But I had to leave and meet different people to see different stuff like that. But some of them relationships, don't nobody want to like you for 6 and 10 years and you quit me for nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody want to keep going through that emotional turn. So you're right. I could never find my grandma either because my mom was rough. I was looking for my grandma. And ain't none of them cooked. I'm just spending money over at all the fancy restaurants. Louis Vuitton,
So you was trying to find grandma. You was trying to find that prototype.
I was trying to find her. I couldn't find her. I was like, some of them you wanted to, and they left. I'd have messed up. I was trying to do an album. I said, oh, man, this is a doozy.
So it's said that we mirror, that the people that we attract are a mirror of us, right? It's a mirror of what's going on within us, right? Yeah. So were you able to kind of sit back and reflect and think, well, dang, it wasn't just them. I was attracted to them. It was something within you that you had yet to deal with
Yeah, I
that
wasn't
was
dealing with it.
attracting the same type of broken
Right.
female that couldn't match up the grandma.
Because we wasn't building together. Like I said, I watched them stay together up and down. So when somebody coming into a relationship with what they already expectations and standards, that's what you're really dealing with. And I'm going looking for something I can't find. So we throwing money at the problem, trying to figure it out, and they coming with conditions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm throwing the money at it, trying to figure out why I can't get her to be, because they skipped the generation. Something about them chromosomes or something and switched and missed it. And I'm like, oh, that's what happened, man. So
Man, I really enjoyed doing this, man, because you really get to see the inside of people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you was a rapper, you get to identify you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, people look at me as an NBA player, and they sit down and talk to me, they get to see
Right,
who
the
I
person
really
is.
am.
Right.
So, you know, getting to know you, like, I'm really intrigued by, you know, having a conversation with you. Is like, what are you doing now, and what kind of projects you got coming up now, or, you know, what are you into now?
Well, what's going on right now is I just pushed a single called Freestyle on. I did a feature on another artist named Muff Murder album, and I pushed them out. And I got 2 movies in the hat. I don't know if they in a series that's supposed to come out. So I don't know what they doing with that. But I wanna just get back out here and see what I could do. Longevity. I like the music. If we can do tour, if we can get that tour, I don't mind going on the road. But I'm gonna try to get a little bit of music out there. But the movie thing, I probably lean towards it on Longevity. But I definitely want to hit that road because I miss it.
The reunion.
I miss the road.
State property
And we
reunion.
can get that on out there.
I'm cheering for that.
Because you ever do got records I never got to perform. I got music that I never, ever got to perform before. It's like never been done. I'm like, man, why do we don't do that? You do a tour, we can pull some things. Yeah, we can pull some things.
I'm cheering
out.
for that. State property, man. Be on the
Actually,
lookout.
It's a pleasure to meet you also, and y'all, and thanks for having me too. Also, it's a pleasure to meet you. And like you said, you know, you got to get to know people. So I'm glad that we get to be in. Y'all get to meet me.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
the flesh, I'm in the building. You know what I'm saying? And that's that.
Emilio Sparks in the building. On that note, it is time to take a time out.
This is for the projects, for the back block, niggas stand up.
Now I done had my issues throughout my lifetime. I did a lot of mean things, not even in my right mind. Shit, sometimes even at the wrong time. But gangster, it been around my generation for years, so it's flowing through the bloodline. For me to send about 6 through one of your pricks is clothesline. Up close and personal with the Glock 9. Open up your sunroof and let the sun shine in on you. Let that thing ring on you. I eat, sleep, live, dream this shit, believe this shit, trust me. I clap one of your fucks like one of life's trustees. Until the feds indict me, until your punks try to trump me. But fuck it, I keep my peace with me, so come and get me. I'm bringing a few of your motherfuckers with me. I'm your Huckleberry, I make the block hotter than it's ever been hotter.
I seen plenty fights break out, friendships break up, niggas fall under pressure. They told on the best of us, dug a hole for the rest of us. Stay prop / rock, no you can't mess with us. I seen more thugs snitch over no shit. I seen more blood drip than a little bit. You gon' want me back, so's a nigga blow. Send it for the dough, man, that's all a nigga know.
Ain't nothing about me average. Awkward style like Lenny Kravitz. I peep the whole floor like I'm magic. No look bullets through your cabbage. Over the beef, I pull toast, nigga, let's make a sandwich. I stay on my burner, speaking the truth like Sojourner. My 357 a Turner. Situation ugly. Throwback jersey in a Scully on the corner and the rain about my money. Sing my song till I'm gone. And when I'm gone, make a remix. We keep it rockin' till they seasick. The ghetto I reside, down the street from death. We taking none for granted, not even our breath. Men of respect, walk with your vest, hand on your tech. Looking over the shoulder, got cramp in your neck. Bare arms to the day that I'm gone. Mean face on my obituary, gangster to the day that I'm gone.